and Abi is here now. So obviously you served in Afghanistan.
I did, yes. I served with the British Army and with the American Army in Kandahar for probably about 4.5 years in total, actually, over there. And the film is a result, really, of that service.
How difficult was it for you to sort of come out and tell everybody that you were going to transition?
Well, 10 years ago, it was a very different world. The Army didn't have provision at that stage for people like me to serve, so I was removed from service. That's a matter of public record, and it was a little acrimonious for a wee while. But I'm proud of the fact that not just myself, but my generation made that sacrifice that's allowed the debate about the whole transgender situation to move forward to where it is now, where people are openly discussing it. And in fact, I think it's become probably the topic of the moment amongst young people as they decide what their identity as a human being is going to be. And I'm proud of the fact that through the years, not just myself, but people of my generation have led that struggle to get to the stage of acceptance that we're at now.
And going back to Afghanistan, I read that you felt that we pulled out much too early.
Yes, I do, actually, and the proof of that is in the film. A mere 15 months after the British Army withdrew from Helmand, practically everything there that we fought for is now controlled by the Taliban. What we're seeing now is the fruits of that descent into chaos beginning to impact the country to the stage that as I make the point in the film, at the moment it's unlikely that the country will survive unless something dramatic changes, like America intervening directly in the war.
Which I find quite shocking, and I don't remember reading much about that. And I wonder, you know, we lost so many lives, there were so many sacrifices. Was it all a waste of time then?
No, it wasn't, and it can be saved, and that's the joy of this film, and it's the joy of Channel 4's Unreported World series, that it highlights these issues that people have forgotten about, and Afghanistan has become a forgotten war. But we can intervene, we can save that legacy, and it was difficult for me to go back and see what has happened in such a short period of time. And if it does, you'll then have this arc of Islamic extremism that stretches from the Syrian coast and the Mediterranean right down to the Indian Ocean. And do we really want to see that happen after everything we've invested in that country? That's the question that the film poses.
And interestingly, I know you were the only sort of Western film crew that's been allowed there or filmed there very recently, and some of your footage has actually gone to the Pentagon.
That's right, yeah. We were the only crew to get access to the fight in southern Afghanistan. We were there literally as the dominoes were falling. And the helicopters that we fly in, as we flew out, those bases were literally collapsing behind us. In fact, in the final mission that we fly in, the helicopter behind us was shot down. So it was that dramatic, and we were the only journalists to have that access. We were the only journalists in that theatre. And because there are no ground troops fighting there from the West anymore, the film has gone forward as ground truth to the Pentagon, so they can get a snapshot of what conditions on the ground were like in late February in Helmand province, and I'm quite proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, and on a completely different track, you're planning a wedding.
You're giving the news away.
It's an exclusive.
I know. I've got to tell my partner. Yes, it's later this year. We're looking at.
And there she is, Debbie.
Getting our Debs, yes. Here's the thing, you know, I'm in my mid-50s now, and I'm now out as a gay woman. What a journey. There's sometimes I look in the mirror and I think, now, was my head going to spin another 360 degrees? But I love her very much, and yes, we're looking forward to that. Please come, by the way.
Oh,
I've only just met you, but and I'll hold you.
Oh, I love a wedding. Everyone knows I love a wedding.
Okay. Just look at your diary. Oh, I'm sorry, Abby, I'm really busy that week.
Not at all. Do you think that perceptions have now changed towards the LGBTI?
They're changing.
Yeah.
I think the debate is a bit in flux just now, which is a good thing, because there are a lot of different terminology being used just now. A lot of pronouns are being used. People are talking about gender fluid, bigendered, non-gendered, and I think that's an appropriate discussion to have. And my personal opinion on it is that I hope that it settles down eventually, that we can just look at people as human beings and not apply labels, no matter what it is, race, religion, creed, gender or sexuality. But what's lovely is that after 10 years of struggling, that this generation are able to have that discussion in the open. And as I sat here on this sofa 10 years ago, if a 15-year-old who's as confused now as I was back then can look at my example and others like us and say, wow,
the space
we can make it work.
Yeah,
that's it, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, an Unreported World Mission Critical Afghanistan is on Friday at 7:30 on Channel 4. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.